Do you like music? I like music. Let's talk about some music. Alright, the first people I want to talk about today are Mystery Skulls. You probably know them from the Ghost music video, and if you haven't seen it, I suggest going and watching it because the animation is incredible and the music is awesome too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. I thought for a really long time that Mystery Skulls was a band. I guess it's just one guy. I think. I don't know. It's really weirdly hard to find any information about Mystery Skulls. I do know that it was formed in 2011 by Luis Alberto Dubuque Jr. They've got a really unique sound, not something I hear all the time. It's kind of like dance music mixed with 80s synthwave is how I would best describe it. If that's incorrect, don't call me out on it because I don't care. If you ever listen to Daft Punk, it's kind of like Daft Punk if Daft Punk were a little edgier and mostly sang about love.
And also if Daft Punk was better.
They or he or however many people are involved in that band have a lot of great music, but I'm gonna give you 3 songs just to get you started, and then if you like them, you can come back to this video and tell me that I made your life better by introducing you to new music. I'm gonna tell you to check out Freaking Out, Back to Life, and Music, ironically, is a song title. Not confusing at all. I had a chance to go to one of their concerts once, but I was broke, so it didn't. Mystery Skulls music makes me want to dance, so it seems appropriate we talk next about my ultimate dance music, which is Young Bae, the king of future funk, and also probably a huge weeaboo. If you've never heard of future funk, the best way that I can describe it is if you combined disco and funk and 80s Japanese city pop into one beautiful baby that you love and hold and cherish forever. Now, Young Bae is probably the biggest name in future funk right now, but despite that fact, his Wikipedia is incredibly bare. There's nothing on there. I know that his first album came out in 2014, and I know that his name is Dallas, but that is about it. It is shockingly small. He went to Oregon State University. That's pretty cool. Now, I first got into Young Bae when I was driving to a Renaissance festival with my good friend Green, who a lot of you probably know from my videos, and I went and saw him live once with some good friends and boys, and it was a great time. He puts on a good show. He's a lot taller in person than he looked on the pictures. He looked like a little small boy in the album covers. It's not, he's pretty big. Now, he has a lot of great songs, but again, we're talking about songs to get you started, to get you hooked. So I'm gonna start you off with Yebisu, Honey, and Selfish High Heels. All fantastic songs. You listen to them, you go down that rabbit hole, okay? You're gonna get trapped. Okay, we've talked enough about dance music. We're gonna shift gears a little bit away from the dance music and we're gonna talk about the Gorillaz. I like the Gorillaz for 2 reasons. It combines my love of music and my love of comics, because no one in the band is actually real. They're all made up. Of course, I didn't know this when I first started listening to them, and when I went to look up what do the Gorillaz actually look like, I got down into the rabbit hole of their Wikipedia, which is just chock full of super interesting information. I'm gonna give you a taste right now, but even if you're not into their music, I recommend checking out the Wikipedia because the story's cool, okay? The first member of the band we'll talk about is 2D. He's kind of the front man of the group. He's on the keyboards and the sings. He sings with his mouth out of the air that comes through it with vibrations from the vocal cords. Seems to have been roped into the whole situation by Murdoch, who we'll talk about in a second. I'm not totally sure if he has any free will of his own whatsoever. Very dumb, very clumsy. He's hit his head a lot in his life. Not always his fault. Which leads us to Murdoch. Murdoch is the bassist and de facto leader of the Gorillaz. He's potentially immortal and definitely an asshole. He somehow manages to be both a rebellious teenager and a grumpy old man at the same time. He's not a nice guy, but I like him anyway. Russell is probably the most tame member of the band. He's on drums and rapping, sort of. One beautiful, lovely spring day, him and his friends were hanging out at a 7-Eleven when a drive-by shooting killed all of his friends, but not him. His recently deceased friend's spirits combined into a ball of white light and led him up into God's loving arms. Hugs, yes, good hugs. No, his recently deceased friends inhabited his body and combined into Del the Ghost Rapper, who occasionally reappears to lay down some sick rhymes. And lastly, we have Noodle. She's insanely cool and super dangerous. She's the guitarist and sings once in a while. She showed up on their doorstep one day as a small child who could not speak any English but laid down a sick guitar solo, and they were like, yeah, let's keep her. That makes sense. As she grew up, it turned out she was a sleeper agent super soldier. No big deal. Everything's fine now. It all worked out in the end. All's well that ends well, I guess. Ace exists. I don't know who he is.
The Gorillaz definitely have the coolest music videos in the industry. They're weird and they're cool and they tell kind of the story of the Gorillaz. You should definitely go and check out all their music videos while you're checking out their music.
But anyway, enough about the fake people who are not real. Let's talk about the real music in the room. It's nearly impossible to define what kind of music they make because the real human members of the Gorillaz that actually make the music are constantly changing. And as a result, each album kind of sounds really different. So to give you a good spread of the different kind of music that they make, I'm gonna recommend to you Feel Good Inc. If you don't know that one by name, you'll recognize it as soon as you hear it. I almost guarantee it. We Got the Power and Sockeye. Fantastic songs, check them out. The next people I want to talk about are kind of close to my heart and people that I like a lot. They're called Prism or Prixum or Pretzels. I've met them. They're really nice. I've seen them a couple times in person. The first time I saw them, I went to a nightclub with my friend on 420, where I am fairly certain, almost 100% positive, that him and I were the only sober ones in the entire building, and we were actually there to see somebody else. We were there to see an artist called Midas, and they were playing before him. But when they came on, they just absolutely killed it. Their music is so good. I really like it. After we left the nightclub, my friend and I both agreed that their performance far outshined the person that we came to see. Not to say that Midas didn't do a killer job. He's got some great music. I'd recommend him as well. But Prism blew it out of the water. They were so cool. And then when I got to talk to them, I liked them even more. They're nice people. Nick and Emma, I like them a lot. I saw them again about a year and a half later, and while I was sitting waiting for their show to start, they came out and they came right up to my friend and I and gave us big hugs, and they recognized us, which I thought was insanely cool. Granted, my hair makes me very recognizable, but I still found it really, really insanely cool that they remembered us. The second time I saw them, we were at a smaller venue and there was less people there, and a lot of the people who were there weren't really out and dancing, so my friend and I took it upon ourselves to stand in the middle of the floor and dance like complete jackasses because neither one of us know how to dance, completely embarrassing them, which I'm sure they absolutely loved. You're welcome, guys, by the way. I'm glad to have provided that service for you. Not only is their music really good, but their aesthetics are great as well. I have 2 t-shirts from them, and they both look really cool. They have awesome graphics with all of their concerts. All of their album art looks awesome too. They're both very stylish. Both the times that I saw them, they were wearing clothes that looked very cool and they looked very uncomfortable. They described themselves as a mixture of 80s nostalgia and current pop music, and I'm just gonna go along with that because I don't know enough about music to actually describe them my own way. What I can say is that they sound good. They sound real good. I'm gonna recommend to you, specifically you watching, I see you, don't think I don't. I'm gonna recommend to you that you listen to Can You Tell Me, Where We Started, and Through the Night, all amazing songs, and then follow them on Instagram and Twitter because they're cool and they deserve more attention and I like them. Have fun. Last but certainly not least, I have to mention Foster the People, my all-time favorite band. They're so unbelievably good. I've been listening to them for years. There's so much music that I listen to and I get tired of after a few years, but I've been listening to them for years and I never get sick of it. It is so good. You probably know them for the song Pumped Up Kicks. Seems like everybody's heard that song, and let me tell you, Pumped Up Kicks is all right. I'm not gonna say it's a bad song, but compared to everything else they make, it's garbage, and I don't like it at all. They were formed in 2009 by Mark Foster, who's clearly a narcissist, and they've been putting out rather infrequent albums since then, but as far as I'm concerned, it is worth the wait, because every single album is an absolute killer. I cannot overstate how much I love this band, okay? They are wildly more famous than I could ever hope to be, and I still think they are highly underrated. Their music is undefinable. I've never heard anything like it. No one else makes music quite like them. It's unique and it's interesting and it keeps you hooked. Look at me, I'm an addict. I think one of the things that I really like about them is that their lyrics are super like meaningful and metaphorical. Lyrics aren't hugely important to me, but I really like listening to theirs because it always makes me think. Their music is about love and hate and revolution and standing up against what you think is unjust and wrong, which is really cool, and I probably won't do it because I'm afraid, but they aren't. They make songs about it, which is the most effective method of revolution. I want to give you guys a couple of examples of the lyrics that I'm talking about. Here's a couple of really meaningful ones to me. You've taken your words and your judgments and stick them on to everything. If it don't conform to what you were born into, then you run the other way. You say, now what's your style and who do you listen to? Who cares? We're in the lion's den. Consumption is our medicine. And so am I again, you could say I'm a true American. Well, the sweetest revenge is being set free. You can't take it from me. This one's really thought-provoking. This one keeps me up at night thinking, okay? I love my friends. I love my friends. We got each other. Don't need no others. Beautiful stuff. It's really hard for me to choose just a few songs to recommend to you guys because I love their music so much. I mean, legitimately, Pick You Up, Imagination, Style, Static Space Lovers, Lotus Eater, Sit Next to Me, Are You What You Want to Be, Ask Yourself, Pseudologia Fantastica, Coming of Age, A Beginner's Guide to Destroying the Moon, Worst Nights, Call It What You Want, Don't Stop. Any one of these songs, depending on how I'm feeling, could be considered my favorite song. But if I have to choose just a couple to get you started and get you hooked, I'm gonna say you have to listen to Static Space Lovers, Pseudologia Fantastica, and I forgot the other one, Worst Nights. Please listen to these guys. They're so good and I need more people to talk about them with, okay? So that's a bunch of music that I like. I'm glad that you stopped by to listen to me rant about things that I wanted to talk about for no reason whatsoever. While I've got you here, I do also want to direct your attention to a couple of my music making friends. Alex Martini, he's a great dude. He made my outro music as well as the intro and outro song for my Treasure Trove video. I love that guy. I've known him forever. I think we went to middle school together. He's one of the most nice and genuine people I know, and you should really check out his stuff. The other person you should take a little peeky peek at is a guy named R3IXY. I don't know if we've nailed a proper pronunciation for that yet. Well, you really need to get that one figured out, buddy. But he's a really nice guy. I've not known him that long, but his music is incredible. And I went to the Young Bay concert with him. He's a real swell individual.
Also, while I was in the middle of editing this video, he had a brand new album drop. It is called WWW, and the song Pop Up off of it has been playing in the background for the past minute. Bet you didn't see that one coming. I tricked ya. But it's really good, so go check it out.
They're nice. They're good boys. Tell them Captain Mack sent ya. Give him a little hug and a kiss for me. And while you're at it, give a kiss to that like button if you liked this video, because this is the end of it. And if you want to see other videos where I talk about music or things that I like, that is my best indication of that. Check out the merch shop. Have a great day. Cut.